Hi everyone, I am Kimberly Coonrad and this is my introductory video. I am currently a full-time student here at CCV in Bennington, Vermont, and I plan on graduating this spring with my associate's degree. I hopefully will be going back to SVC in the near future to finish up and get my bachelor's degree in criminal justice there. When I'm not at school, I work full-time with the local police department here in town, and I dispatch for the police, the fire, and the rescue. I work the evening and the midnight shifts mostly. When you work the evening shift, you work with one other person, so there are two people on at once, mainly because the call volume is higher than the other shifts. When I work on midnights, there's only you working, so it's one person, and you have to manage the calls that are coming in. You have to manage the radio. If there's someone in the lobby, you need to make sure that you assist them in a timely fashion, and you have to make sure that everything gets put into the computer system that needs to be in there so that everything gets time stamped. That is a very big thing that we have to deal with at the police department, is making sure that everything is documented and everything is properly put into the computer and we have the information that we need. When you work on the evening shift, you work with the other person so that it kind of helps you not get so stressed out and overwhelmed because there is another person there to help you out. When you're working with someone else, teamwork is the best thing and it is the key to success, I believe. When I first started, I didn't know really how I was gonna do, but I ended up turning out to love what I do, and I've been there almost 3 years now. When you're working with someone else, like on evening shift, you need to always make sure that you're communicating back and forth and figuring out if they need help with anything, if they're getting overwhelmed with a call and they have another call pending. I always say, hey, do you want me to put that into the computer system and dispatch it out for you since you have something else going on? Or if they have any files that need to be filed or anything that needs to get put into the computer that's not a call, I always make sure to ask them and say, hey, I'm always here if you need my help, and I'm free if you need me, so don't be afraid to ask. When I have a lot of calls coming in, the other dispatchers are also asking me the same thing, so I feel very comfortable with them, and there's a lot of good communication skills that we have, and we're very comfortable with each other. I didn't know really what I was getting myself into when I first started because I had never really learned about dispatching or anything like that. So I had to go to a training up at the Vermont Police Academy, and I just thought to myself, whatever I got myself into, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this or not. But I ended up turning out to do very well with it, and I finished up my trainings faster than usual. So when I was on a probationary period, they took me off that quicker because I was able to learn everything in a timely fashion and get right to it on my own instead of having another dispatcher watch over me full time. When I work with the public, you're always having to watch the tone and how you speak to them, and if you're in person, you always have to watch your body language. So a lot of the times when people come in and they get frustrated, you kind of have to have a blank stare on your face and make sure that you don't come off the wrong way because they are already frustrated in the first place, so they probably don't want to be any more angered than they already are. We usually have a meeting session about once a month with all the dispatchers, or we try to at least, and we just communicate back and forth with how things are going, how our program is working, how the computer systems are working, if there's anything that needs to be touched up on, how everything is going with our filing, if there needs to be anything that needs to be taken out or added. We all just communicate back and forth and really figure out a good way to learn what each individual person needs, and it works out really well because the dispatching group that we have working is very strong and we all get along, which is very good because you're with that person usually for 8 hours at a time if you're not working midnights. So that is basically how my work is and what I do. If anyone would like to ask me any more questions, feel free to put them in your comments. Thank you very much for listening.